Panoorin nyo kung saan papunta ang budget ng OVP sa 2026. Ayan o, panoorin nyo.
Presenting the highlights and salient features of the Office of the Vice President budget under the fiscal year 2026 National Expenditure Program. The Department of Budget and Management has recommended a budget of 902.895 million pesos for fiscal year 2026, vis-a-vis the 942.038 million pesos proposal of the Office of the Vice President. The amount recommended is 21.33% higher than the fiscal year 2025 budget as appropriated. The proposed budget will cover personal expenses or PS, maintenance and other operating expenses or MOOE, and capital outlay. For personal services, the recommended budget for fiscal year 2026 is 212.538 million pesos, which is 23.54% of the total budget. The amount is higher by 12.14% than the fiscal year 2025 personnel services level. Personal services cover salaries, benefits, and allowances of 162 filled positions. It also includes the special duty allowance for military and uniformed personnel and salary for non-permanent positions. The total proposed PS budget, including retirement and life insurance premiums or RLIP, is 212.538 million pesos. For maintenance and other operating expenses, the recommended budget is 673.753 million pesos, which is 74.62% of the total budget. The amount is based on the DBM Tier 1 MOOE level of 654.527 million pesos, plus additional Tier 2 request of 19.226 million pesos for information and communication technology or ICT-related expenses in line with the DICT-endorsed Information System Strategic Plan or ISSP. The MOOE includes allocations for the following: supplies and materials, as well as financial assistance or subsidies, which are intended for goods and grants that will be directly received by the OVP target beneficiaries or clients, travel and representation expenses to support the operational needs of the OVP in implementing its programs and projects, including its ceremonial and executive functions, and provisions for professional services and rent or lease expenses to cover the service fees of contract of service personnel, IT-related consultancy services as per the ISSP, and the operational needs of the OVP central and satellite offices. As for the capital outlay, the total CO budget is only 1.84% of the total recommended budget or equivalent to 16.6 million pesos. Recommended CO covers the procurement of various information and communication technology outlays consistent with the ISSP. By appropriation source, the amount under agency-specific budget is 889.236 million pesos and 13.695 billion pesos under automatic appropriations for RLIP. Of the total amount of 902.895 million pesos under the fiscal year 2026 National Expenditure Program, 275.183 million pesos or 30.5% is allotted for various goods and grants under socio-economic programs of the OVP which will directly benefit Filipinos. This excludes the logistics and other costs which are necessary to implement the programs. Presenting the comparative budget of the OVP from 2020 to 2025 under the General Appropriations Act and 2026 under the National Expenditure Program. Prior to fiscal year 2023, the OVP's budget ranged from 700 to 900 million pesos. It was only in fiscal year 2023 and 2024 that the budget exceeded 1 billion pesos, primarily due to increased allocations for financial assistance and subsidy to support the provisions of medical and burial assistance. For fiscal year 2025, the OVP's budget returned to its pre-2023 levels with 744.15 billion pesos allocated for 2025. The same budget level is maintained under the proposed 2026 budget with adjustment for inflation including the mandated salary increases. Since 2020, and even with the higher budgets in 2023 and 2024, the OVP was able to maintain a high full-year budget utilization or obligation rate of at least 85.55%. The OVP has consistently made effective use of its budget over the past years to deliver and sustain key programs. As the second highest office in the land, the OVP aims to promote the welfare of every Filipino in line with its vision to create lasting impact on the lives of every Filipino people through its socio-economic programs and services. Since 2022, the OVP has implemented the following programs: Pagbabago a Million Learners and Trees campaign, disaster response operations, relief for indigents and individuals in crisis and emergencies, You Can Be VP, Libreng Sakay, Kalusugan Food Trucks, Magnegosyo Taday, and Medical and Burial Assistance Program. Except for the Medical and Burial Assistance Program, the 2026 proposed OVP budget is intended to support and sustain the different OVP programs. The OVP programs are implemented in the central office and through the 10 satellite offices and 1 extension office which continue to operate in key areas in Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao to provide Filipinos with immediate access to the services offered by the OVP. In Luzon, we have Cagayan Valley Satellite Office, Pangasinan Satellite Office, and Bicol Satellite Office. In Visayas, Cebu, Bohol, and Siquijor Satellite Office, Eastern Visayas Satellite Office, and Panay and Negros Island Satellite Office. And in Mindanao, Caraga Satellite Office, Southern Mindanao Satellite Office, Western Mindanao Satellite Office, and Barm Satellite Office. We also maintained our extension office in Tondo, Manila. For fiscal year 2024, the OVP had a target of 1,013,620 beneficiaries for all its programs, and a total of 1,780,079 individuals and groups were served. The high performance was achieved with the help of 470 strategic partnerships that were established with various government agencies, civil society organizations, medical institutions, and other external stakeholders. Likewise, the OVP successfully implemented 99% of all planned projects and achieved a high average satisfaction rating of 98% for its services, including the requests acted upon within the standard processing time. Finally, the office completed a total of 490 engagements with partners and stakeholders. As to the financial targets in 2024, the OVP obligation rate was above the 85% mark. The OVP had 85.55% budget utilization rate with 1.783 billion pesos amount obligated, and with disbursement rate of 86.03% or 1.534 billion pesos disbursed. For fiscal year 2025, the OVP has continued the implementation of its flagship programs designed to provide the Filipino people with access to basic social services. With a target of 1,047,935 beneficiaries for the year, a total of 595,757 individuals or 57% of the target were served across all OVP programs and services during the first semester. The OVP has also established 242 partnerships to support the development and implementation of its various initiatives. Notably, the OVP successfully implemented 100% of all planned projects encompassing activities such as social preparation, technical assistance, and program implementation. Furthermore, the OVP achieved an average satisfaction rating of 97% for its services, exceeding the target of 90%. In addition, the office completed a total of 770 engagements with partners and stakeholders, further strengthening collaboration and support for its programs. As of June 30, 2025, the OVP has 756.33 million pesos total released allotments and a continuing appropriation equivalent to 147.1 million pesos, thus totaling the available allotment for the year to 903.43 million pesos. For the first semester, the OVP has already obligated 34.3% of the available allotment received, equivalent to 309.69 million pesos, and with a disbursement rate of 66.8% or 206.83 million pesos. Although the current rate of 34.4% falls short of the mid-year target, the OVP's mid-year utilization rate remains consistent with previous years, which are below 50% since some of the OVP's programs are implemented only in the second semester of the year, such as the Pagbabago campaign wherein bag distributions are made after the opening of the school year in June, and the disaster response which are usually during the typhoon season starting July. With this, the OVP remains on track in maintaining an obligation rate above 85% by year-end, as has been achieved in prior years. the OVP holds a distinct position in our bureaucracy. As the second highest office in the land, the OVP carries out functions that complement the work of other government agencies while advancing the well-being of the Filipino people. The proposed 902.895 million pesos fiscal year 2026 budget for the OVP will help us continue with our mission to deliver efficient, accessible, and responsive public service for the good of all Filipinos.